Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. I don't know if you can see Lily sitting here, but she says hi. And we're just hanging out at the library today and putting some new books on the shelf and on the shelves, rather. These are mostly from thrift stores and a few from eBay. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments below. And I will do close-ups of the covers and stuff because I know everyone likes to see that. All right, this is Starfall, a Starflight novel by Melissa Landers. I don't know, I'm always looking for cool science fiction. This looked like it had a nice cover. I hope it's not YA. I'm just not in the mood for like a YA sci-fi book. I'm still recovering from Zenith. But this might be actually the second book in the series. I'll take a look at it. I'll read a couple pages and let you know. I don't know, it looked interesting. Next up, speaking of interesting, I've read this book twice, and then I bought this on eBay because I couldn't find my paperback version. I thought, I'm going to buy a nice first edition, and this was not too expensive and has the dust jacket. This is Ghost Story by Peter Straub. On my Slow Burn Sunday series, I just did a video about the film. Loved the movie, loved the book, and I sat there and when I got the book and I read a couple pages, and before I knew it, I had read the first 2 chapters, and I was like, I just love this book. There was a change made in this book. Well, first of all, I did find a mistake on like the first couple of, it was one of the first few pages. There's a major like typo where words are repeated, which always makes me feel better about my own mistakes when I put a book out. Peter Straub was actually, I believe, sued over using in this book the Ordo Templi Orientis, which is associated with the occult, but it's real, and I guess it still has members. So because he used OTO, which is a real organization, they either sued him or the publisher or threatened to sue. So subsequent printings, he changed it to something else, which I don't really remember what it was. But I did notice that in the true first edition, and this may be collectible, but it wasn't expensive. I mean, if it were signed, perhaps it would be. But I did notice that the OTO is in this, so it kind of gives it that authenticity. Just one of those little, trivia things. All right, what else? Okay, so speaking of Peter Straub, I found Black House, the novel he and Stephen King wrote together. I've never read this, and I've never read The Talisman, which I believe is like the first book. This is kind of like a series, 2-book series. I've known about these books for years, especially this one, and I think I did have at some point a paperback copy of it. But anyway, when I found this in the thrift store, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a nice copy of The Talisman. So I got a first edition on eBay. It was not that expensive. And damn it, I'm going to read these. I've been saying I'm going to read Coco, too, by Peter Straub. I just feel like his books are really long, and it takes me time to get into them and give the time it deserves. And then I've been involved in all these like readathons and stuff. I don't know. Is there something about like BookTube pressure we put on ourselves to read all these books? So I found this in the thrift store. 13 Tales of Horror by 13 Masters of Horror. Nice little compilation. R.L. Stein, Carolyn B. Cooney, Christopher Pike, and a bunch more. So, little book of short stories is always nice. I haven't read any of these yet, but I'll check it out. Here is another V.C. Andrews, one of the series that I believe Andrew Niederman did. This is Olivia. This is part of one of the series. It has the nice fold back with some like crazy gothic scene. And I have a bunch of V.C. Andrews books. I don't have all the series like in complete, but I have quite a few of them. So I'm going to add this to my collection. These are the versions that I like. So whenever I see one that I don't have, I pick one up. And speaking of V.C. Andrews, one of our lovely BookTube community members, Chuck the Book Dweller, sent me this, a hardback copy of Pearl in the Mist by V.C. Andrews, also part of the series. Thanks, Chuck, so much for sending this to me. So I will put all of Chuck's links down below, so check out his BookTube channel and his Instagram. So I just thought that was really cool. I love this about our community, that we are like trading books with each other and giving that kind of support. It's very awesome. Okay, I picked up a couple of gothic romance books on eBay. I'm going to do a whole video about gothic romance and all the books that I have, probably sometime this week. But this one is called The Black Swan. I started reading this one about halfway through. This one's called The Night Hunters. It's kind of your typical girl running away from the mansion. Here's girl running through the woods, the winter keeper. These are so hard to find in the wild, and I don't know why that is. Every time I go to a thrift store, or when I say thrift store, I also mean like secondhand bookstore, I'm always looking for where the Gothic romances. They have tons and tons and tons of other kinds of romance, like Harlequin romance, all of that. But for some reason, these are kind of lost, and I don't know why. It's funny because I noticed that other booktubers that are in the horror bookish community, if you want to call it that, also have their sort of like pet genres, like Paperback Junkie reads pulp westerns and things like that. If you have any pulp obsessions, please list them below because I would love to know. So then I found a novelized version of Spawn, Born in Darkness, Sworn to Justice. I remember seeing the movie a long time ago, but I've never read the book. It's based on a comic, so that could be kind of a fun, quick read. This I found, it looked very interesting. It looks like it could be really good. Dark Winds by Graham Watkins. This looks like the type of book that I gravitate to. I might move this to the top of the stack for like a quick pulpy paperback read. The cover's very cool too. There's a lot going on there, a lot of mixed metaphors happening. This one I'm definitely planning on reading soon, and this is A Simple Plan by Scott Smith. And this is a nice paperback version with a little cracked window and then something going on in here with the money and a guy dead in the car. I know I really liked The Ruins, and I loved his writing style, so I have high expectations about this book. I just have a feeling I'm going to knock this out in like a day or a weekend. So I'm going to move that over here, which is like the books I'm going to get right to, and the other ones I'll restock and get to them at some point. And then the last book I got was Dean Koontz, Frankenstein, Book 1, Prodigal Son. This is part of like is it a 2-book series or maybe 3? Okay, I love Frankenstein. I've been in a very kind of Frankenstein-y mood, so I might just put this on the stack along with A Simple Plan. Do any of you guys feel like you have too many books to read sometimes? Like I really would love to read those Peter Straub, Stephen King books, but I guess it's the size of them I'm finding a little intimidating. I'm intimidated by the size. But something like this I know I can knock off in a day, so that's kind of where my head is right now a little bit more because I'm also reading, Batilda's reading Golf Curse for Camathon. She insisted, so I'm letting her take that one over. So expect her to do a video for that by the end of the month. And then I'm reading some other things, some short stories, like anthologies that I started that I want to try to finish up. And I also read a bunch of vampire books, and I'm going to be doing a video on that as well. So, I mean, this is all self-imposed pressure. It's just books, and I'm looking forward to just some leisurely, lazy reading this winter. So that's all I have for today. Lily, speaking of lazy, Lily, do you think you can, say hi? Oh, gosh. Okay. Somebody's tired. So that's all I have for today. I will see you soon in my haunted library. Bye.